the True North Strong tattoo book. This is a massive tattoo encyclopedia of Canadian tattooers. 350 pages. It's an 11 by 17 coffee table format. Shawn and Dan worked tirelessly to get this thing out, and sadly it never made it to print, so it's available for free download at theholdfastsocialclub.com and championtattoo.ca. The Hold Fast Social Club presents So You're Kinda a Big Deal with your hosts, Shawn, Hedley, and Dave Allen. Welcome to So You're Kinda a Big Deal, a weekly podcast deep diving into the lives of emerging and established tattoo artists. Listen in as we dig into origin stories, industry hot topics, and what it takes to survive in the world of tattooing. This is Tattoo Shop Talk. It's funny, it's crass, inspiring, and sometimes we get it right. Join your hosts Shawn, Hedley, and Dave Allen every week as we host a new guest. Look at who we got today. Oh, blanks. Look at this guy.
Hey! How's it going?
Oh, can you get closer to the your iPad or phone, because we can't hear you very well?
Okay. Yeah.
All you fucking guys in your great scenic backgrounds.
I know.
You slickers.
How are you,
Pretty
Piotr?
good, man. Yeah. Bad.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
Where
where
are you
were
right now?
you?
Where am I?
No, like where were you? You were somewhere last week with Jesse Young?
Oh yeah, we are at the cabin. I have a
Oh, okay.
Where's the cabin?
Savory Island.
Savory. Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a sweet little spot. Yeah, so we were there. We were building shit. I have these work parties. We get we get pretty lit up and then build stuff. So it's cool. We were building
So nothing's changed.
Adding some additions onto it and stuff like a deck and power shed. You know, the sauna.
Nice.
Cool.
So be aware if you get an invite from Piotr to come to the cabin, you're probably gonna get lit and you're probably gonna do some manual labor.
Oh yeah, man, we work hard, dude. But we also, we eat really well, and that place is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But it's fun, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so Jesse's been twice now. And, we do a few days. It's good. It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
Nice.
cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Oh, man. Thanks for joining us. Piotr, I haven't talked to you in so long.
I know, man. I think Saskatoon a few years ago was the last time I saw you.
Yeah. Laura and the kids are good?
Yeah, you betcha.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She's off to,
Tell us where you are, where you're set up.
I'm in Roberts Creek.
And that's on the Sunshine Coast in BC.
Yeah. So
And
it's a tiny little, it's not even a hamlet. Like it's literally just a few little buildings together in the middle of a cute little tiny village, sort of.
before I was a tattooer, I used to hitchhike there from Vancouver on the weekends to go to house parties and do as many mushrooms as we could possibly ingest.
Oh yeah.
Those are amazing rockin' parties.
There's still
Roberts
So
Creek.
are you at your shop or do you live in Roberts Creek now?
no. I am actually in my place, but I'm still in the same place, Hedley.
Okay.
Yeah. It's changed a little bit, but it's same spot. Just my shop is new.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Nice. Is that the same place that I stayed when I was out there?
Oh,
where we did some crabbing and running from the cops.
Yeah, that was a fun time. We'll get into that a bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We should probably give people a little bit of a background on who you are and where you're from and that kind of stuff. Shawn thinks it's the most boring question in the world, but
it's not. I'm just teasing. It's just you start it the exact same every time.
Yeah.
So, tell me where you're from and who you are.
Shit, that's a hard one, man. Well, like, how far back do I have to go? Like,
Well, not birth.
Yeah, but like, a little bit about when you got to Canada and
sure.
stuff.
Okay, so yeah, moved to Canada from Poland in '86. Moved to Inuvik, Northwest Territories. You guys have
Wow.
been there before, but it's a pretty cool place. Happened to move there in January too, so it was nice and warm.
Pretty dark.
The sun had just come back, so we were cool, like, oh, this place is awesome. Yeah, actually, it is a really awesome place to visit. Like, I don't think many Canadians have been there actually. It's yeah, it was pretty incredible to kind of have some early like teen formative years there, because it made me fall in love with the outdoors. Right, fishing and just living off the land, like gathering and all the stuff I love to do still. Kind of got it start there.
So, how did you get there? Was it your parents moved
Yeah,
there and you moved with them,
yeah.
or did
That's
like how do you end up in
well,
Inuvik?
my stepdad was working there, so we moved there. It was He was running away from some shit in England, and yeah. Anyway, that's a long story. But anyway, we ended up there. It was really cool, and then we would go down south to Edmonton for our vacations.
Oh, wow.
Where you going? Down south. Fucking Edmonton. But whatever. It was so I don't know if you guys know, but like to get to Nuvik by car, you can only really do it like in the summer or in the winter. And in the shoulder seasons, you can't, because it's either like the ferry's not running or there's breakups. So you gotta fly.
Yeah.
But I did that drive 5 times from Edmonton, and it's fucking 3 days, 16 hours a
Oh my
day,
god.
and like almost 1,000 kilometers of gravel road, which was really
Ugh.
kind of crazy. And my dad, he
Incredible.
had this passion for buying these shitty fucking Ladas. I don't know. Remember when Lada tried to break into the fucking Canadian market, and
Yes.
they fucking sold these cars, and they're just pieces of shit. But for some reason,
They were
my dad
garbage.
decided to get one, and it broke down literally like 100 kilometers from Inuvik. We're on the side of the road, and the fucking step out, and the wolves are howling. It's like crazy dark. Luckily, this one couple were driving, towed us all the way into town. Yeah, we made it home, but fuck, man, I was like middle of
No
nowhere,
doubt.
middle of nowhere. But whatever, I could tell you lots of stories about that place, but I would highly suggest that if nobody's been there, like, it's kind of a cool place to check out. You know? And
Yeah,
lots
yeah.
of
So, when did you
bug
leave?
spray. In the,
Yeah.
so
When did you leave Inuvik,
yeah,
and where did
I
you
left
go?
in '91. We moved down south to Edmonton, and finished high school in Edmonton, and then I went to university, and then got my first tattoo in '90s. Shitty shop called Smoking Guns Tattoo. It was
Is it
100th
still
and 82nd Street. If you know Edmonton, you know that it's the no knife zone, and the Cromdale Hotel used to be there, and it was a really fucking scary kind of an area, but whatever, it was neat.
so what were you like smitten by tattoos right off the bat,
Yeah.
or you went to school? Like where were you at this point? What was your
Oh,
headspace
I was
like?
doing sciences at the University of Alberta. I was going to be a dentist, and that was fucking horrible, man. Like, wouldn't first year of this, so I was just like, this is the worst. It's like, I think they try to weed people out by just pummeling you with all this math and fucking linear algebra, man. If you've ever done linear algebra, it is the worst. Calculus, like,
Yeah.
I'm okay at calculus, but linear algebra was absolutely terrible, man. Anyway, statistics, all this shit. So by year one, I knew that wasn't for me. Fuck this shit, you know. So I was kind of just a career student at that point, and decided to get into forestry. So I moved my majors to that, and I got my first couple tattoos at this really fucking shitty shop smoking gun. But you know what's funny? One of the times I was getting tattooed there, these two punks come in. They weren't punks, but they were kind of like skater dudes, and it was fucking Steve Batt and Derek Orcus, right? And
Oh
they were
wow.
buying some stencil paper from this dude, which was funny. I didn't know him at the time, you know. It was just like it was, but I won't forget that because it was pretty funny, you know. It was hard to get equipment back, right? So they
Yeah.
came in and they bought a couple of sheets of stencil paper from this dude, and it was pretty hilarious. But I didn't know him anyway. Yeah, I got a couple tattoos, and then I got a real tattoo from Danny Gordy maybe a year later at Raptors when it was still downtown Edmonton, the old location that later down the road became Doing Tattoo. You know that spot? It's
Yeah.
I think it's fucking destroyed now. I don't know what the hell happened to it. But, yeah, so Glenn Warwa had the shop there downtown, and I walked in. I mean, I booked an appointment ahead of time, and then I walked in. Fuck, I think Danny was like, I was just sitting there. It was good, man. Like, got this fucking fantasy fucking tattoo from some D&D game I was playing at the time. You know, being a total fucking nerd. But yeah, it was cool. Whatever. That was my first real fucking tattoo by a real tattooer, so that was cool, you know. And at that point, I kind of fell in love with tattooing, but I had no like there was no real thought of becoming a tattoo artist yet. You know, I was just kind of getting my first few tattoos, and
Were you drawing at the
oh yeah,
time,
I've
or?
always drawn. Like I actually mostly painted at that time. I was drawing, but it wasn't like, you know, being an immigrant, right? Like your family doesn't steer you to become a artist. You know, you're gonna be a fucking doctor or a dentist or a lawyer or a fucking investment banker. You know, like a good little immigrant should. I don't know why.
I think you would have made a great investment banker. You got the right attitude.
I know, but you know, whatever. And you know, like going to university and doing all the schooling, like I ended up getting kicked out after 3 years because, you know, like in high school we were fucking hitting the books so hard, like there was no social life whatsoever. So when I got to university, it was just like fucking girls and partying and fucking shows and all that shit that everybody else did in high school. I was kind of going through the motions in university. So fuck school, man. I was like, I did my first class, and by 9 a.m. I was at the bar, you know, like hustling for food. I'd go to organic chemistry because I really like that. But everything else, fuck that, man. Like, yeah, it was funny because the profs would like, I'd have to go write a test, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're Piotr." I'm like, "Hey, nice to meet you. Never seen you before. I'm gonna fail you." But whatever.
You charmed them though,
What?
didn't you? You charmed them
Uh,
though, didn't you? Like you always do. You always get your way out of trouble.
yeah, but it was funny, man. It was funny times. Yeah, so then when I got kicked out of university, I went to Nate. I don't know if you know that, and I did my
Yeah.
fourth there. It's in Edmonton. It's like a technical college or whatever. So during that, I went to this fucking party, and I was showing some chick my shitty tattoos at the party, and Derek Orcus walked up to me and introduced himself, and he was working at Glenn's shop, Raptors. And so we became buddies, you know. Like we started kind of hanging out and stuff. And he was the dude that kind of got my foot in the door, I guess, to this into business. So, and also, he got my foot in the door with other things like mushrooms and real music, other things. Just like
He was like the big
oh
brother.
yeah,
The tattoo
oh
lifestyle.
yeah, man. Totally, dude. It was pretty
Eat this, listen to this.
exactly. Like I didn't listen to anything good till that point, you know. Like I don't know, drugs were bad, you know. All this shit, counterculture. Fuck, I was a total noob. So it was cool, man. Like he really fucking. Besides, kind of getting me in the door at Raptors and stuff, he really kind of opened up my world to the bigger picture. Let's say, you know what I mean? Because yeah, like you know, like you gotta think that we were super nerds, you know. So that was pretty fucking cool, man. I gotta say. And then, of course, I was doing forestry school, and on the weekends, I'd go to fucking Raptors and volunteer there. So I basically ran their front counter Saturdays and Sundays. Swept, did the mops, fucking made needles, scrubbed tubes, answered the phone, and my shtick was that I would like, if a person came in, because it was all flash right back then on the walls, and all these
Yeah.
guys, you know, like, and Glenn was super cool. He had fucking Henning sleeves, which was fucking rad.
Oh,
Right.
wild.
That was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Oh shit.
You got a teenager or someone there that can help you?
Wow, this is a problem, man. Hold on. You'll have to edit this out, dude.
Nope.
Not a chance.
Anyway, so it was funny because where the fuck is it? Oh yeah, so I was at Glenn's shop and I was pretty fucking smitten by his sleeves. And just the whole fucking shop vibe was cool. Even though it's like mostly a flash shop, there was a bit of custom stuff being done. But so my shtick was kind of like, you know, you could get something off the wall, or for $25, I'll draw you a custom, right? But then, like you know, like once a weekend maybe that would happen, right? So I'd get enough money to fucking go out because going out back then was super cheap in Edmonton, by the way. You know,
Yeah.
I said highballs.
Well, even when I first moved to Alberta, it was like 50-cent beers. I haven't seen that for years.
Oh my
Like,
god.
Bring you a tray of like 50 to your table.
yeah.
Here's $20. Boom, you know, you get a fucking tray. Like, fuck, kids don't even know it these days, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh fuck.
And Edmonton was like a fucking party.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Big blue collar, work hard, play hard.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, I was doing that stuff at Raptors for a bit. Glenn was super cool, and then one of the dudes there. I've been trying to fucking remember his name all morning. One day he just gave me one of his tattoo machines. It was a little national, tiny little national machine, like kind of like a Supreme. Anyway, and he's like, "Hey man, you should give her a whirl." You know? So so anyway, I didn't really have the I haven't tattooed yet or anything like that. And then Derek, one night we were having some drinks after work, and he set up his tools in his apartment. Did my first tattoo on myself. So it was cool. It was a cool
Hey,
experience.
Piotr, I need you to get closer to the
Oh
microphone.
shit. Okay, I'll try to talk a little louder as well.
There we go.
How
That's usually not a problem for you.
I know they have to be working next door doing some excavation or something.
No, it's just the microphone's far from your mouth, and we're not. I want to make sure we get everything
Yeah.
you're saying.
So anyway, I tattooed myself in Derek's apartment, and it was pretty cool. And I was addicted at that point. So during this whole time as well, like I think even before I started Raptors, I was already sending in drawings to like Tattoo Savage, old mag.
Oh my god, I forgot about that
Anyway,
one.
they printed
Savage.
some of my shitty fucking Flash.
Awesome.
It was funny. Like I looked back, I just I don't even know what it looks like, but
Do you still got those copies of that magazine? Oh, that's too bad. Do
no,
you
there was
remember
like
what year was that?
that would have been like 90. I think I sent those in like 94 or something, 95. Something.
It's so crazy to think that that's something you could do back then. Like nowadays, I mean, there's no centralized place you could send stuff for everybody to see, put it up on fucking internet and hope somebody looks at it. But back then, if you could get published, you might have like 5,000 people that mean something looking
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, tattoo
Yeah.
magazines, they were cool back then, kind of, because there was a lot of stuff from the States. I mean, like, not really. I think International Tattoo Art. Remember when that came out?
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
That was cool because fucking there was like tons of shit from California and stuff, and even Europe, right? In that magazine,
Yeah.
like Shaw was pretty traveled.
Yeah.
Fucking published some cool shit, and that was just like so. Kane stuff and Marcus Pacheco, fucking Grime, and all those dudes, So that was like, of course, Philip Lou, Henning, shit, a bunch of dudes. Anyway, it was like fucking mind opening to what was possible because Edmonton, like it was, Danny was doing some cool shit. Who the fuck else was tattooing? I mean, like the guys at Raptors were doing some shit, but mostly Flash. It was kind of more biker, but really to see all that cool stuff coming from the south and across the pond was really cool. Bernie Luther, remember? It was cool, man. Like,
yeah.
So, when did you make the transition from counter to actually tattooing?
I don't even know, but it was before the tattoo shows. So so I went and finished my forestry degree, which I had to, not degree, but fucking whatever, doc. Anyway, I had to move to fucking Hinton, Alberta. You ever been through there? I'm sure.
Yes.
To Jasper. It's kind of like a mill town, right? And I was finishing my fucking school, and I had my one tattoo machine, and I ordered some Mickey Sharp's pigment. So I was tattooing my buddies from it was kitchen magician shit. But it was cool, whatever. What's funny about it is after that I moved to Whitecourt, Alberta, which is another kind of we called it the court. Anyway, I tattooed this dude in his kitchen, man, and I'll never forget this because I was doing like a demon. So his head was in the sink. I was tattooing him on the kitchen counter. Why? We could clean it up. Anyway.
It's very sanitary.
Anyway, what's funny is, man, like I was last time I was working the Vancouver show, I don't know, eons ago. Came up to me, I didn't recognize him. He's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, it's doing pretty good, He's like, and we're chatting a little bit, and he's like, "You don't remember me, eh?" No clue. And he's like, "Do you remember this?" And he pulls out his arm, and there's the fucking arm, like, God knows when. He's like, I'm a tattooer now. I'm like, whoa, fuck, that is so crazy.
Unreal.
So
shit.
funny, man. That was funny times, dude. Like there was many stories, but anyway, once I left Raptors, and then I did my forestry thing, and I got my foot in the door in this little fucking shop in the no knife zone again. Back to where I got my roots. It was probably would have been right across from Smoking Guns at the time, and it was called Skin Deep. Total ripoff, right? Name. And
Yeah.
fucking metamorphosed and blossomed into all these different fucking names. But one of the dudes that worked at Raptors, his name was Trev the Ripper. He knew Trev, man. He was fucking, like, I hesitate to say gangster, but he was a serious dude. Like, fuck, very colorful character, let's say. Biker, but like, you know, in cahoots with everyone, kind of well-rounded. you know. Anyway, his daughter somehow was piercing and got her foot in this door, and the dude who opened that shop was running away from like child support or something, and opened this little shitty shop on 118th and 82nd Street, right beside the Cromdale Hotel. And then Derek Orcus left Raptors and started working there. And he invited me to come. So that's kind of where I started. That place was fucking crazy, crazy. Like it was definitely way before tattooing got busy in Canada, right? So we were like very not busy. Like it was, you really had to fucking get good at the gift of gab to get someone to sit in the chair for one. Like, hey man, yeah, I'm thinking about a tattoo. It's like, we can do it right now. We can get you in, man. What do you want? Like, we'll draw it up right on the spot. And they'd be like, all right, when you're ready, just come get me at the Cromdale. And oh my God, there was some characters, dude. Like, I remember, I think the first tattoo I ever did was on this like older sex worker lady. She was really sweet, and she was lying down on the bed, and I'm tattooing a little heart on her breast, and I'm just like sweating bullets. Probably like my second client ever. And she looks at me and she goes in this kind of hoarse voice, and she's like, "That's the closest I've ever had a man next to my nipple without him biting on it." I'm like, holy shit.
Clients were different back in the 90s and early 2000s
Oh
than they
my
are
God.
today.
Yes.
We had this.
It just attracted the weirdos.
The place attracted the weirdos, dude. It was the weirdest, man. Weirdest.
I don't think that was just Edmonton or that shop. Every shop back then was like
nobody, like very few shops were tattooing, professional. I mean, like Smiling Buddha for sure, places like that. But like Edmonton, we had Roy and Sharon's next to us. We had Zips, like fucking, Glenn's shop, and even though Shambhala tattoo was open here, there wasn't too many shops even. Like it was fucking. It wasn't a career choice. It wasn't fucking popular.
Yeah, it wasn't until like 2004 or 5 when it really kind of opening up in Edmonton.
Yeah, like we were behind the States by a few years for sure. Like it was getting popular in the late 90s in the States. I mean, no, fucking mid 90s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Even tattooing in Vancouver and being compared to Edmonton, we were ahead. Right? It was just bigger metropolis.
Oh yeah,
more people
for sure.
So yeah.
And I mean, we were like street rats, man. We didn't even, like we when we could afford to buy a tattoo mag, that was great, and that was really our only kind of, window into the bigger tattoos, right? And we this dude came up from Seattle and tattooed me and Dorcas, and he was an interesting cat. His wife would draw the tattoos and he would tattoo them. Get his name.
Who was
I
that?
forget his name, man. I haven't seen anything of him. I don't know. He was working in Seattle, and it was like super new school kind of shit. And I remember, I think he started my tattoo around like midnight, and it was acid flashback or something. Even though I haven't had acid yet, like I was like kind of borderline passing out because he was so heavy-handed, man. Just like rounded in there, like good, but it was a fucking mission. And him and his wife were a very interesting couple. They belonged to this weird society, and it was called Church of the Subgenius. Have you heard of it? And they did some fucked up shit, man. For some reason, they were friends with Derek Orcas, and came up to fucking visit him, and we got tattooed, and it was wild. I think his wife was trying to marry Derek's. It was interesting times, man. You know what? My memory is like very, very kind of um, fuzzy
Fuzzy?
from those fuzzy.
Why would that be? Why would that be?
You know, many reasons.
I mean, you live in the moonshine capital of BC, probably Western Canada.
Yeah, I did have my share of moonshines.
Yeah.
I knew a few people that made it. There's,
So how long were you at that shop
not
for?
long. No, shit got fucking nuts there. Like, uh, Trev. Trev was a very cool but crazy dude. He would he would fucking do sleeves in like months. That was that was his name, Trev the Ripper, man. He got these fucking crazy dragon. You saw one, yeah, that's Trev's. And he tattooed these little little dudes, little dudes that were doing bad things. But he was a very colorful guy, but you never knew what the fuck you were coming into that shop, man. Like, it had a fucking dirt basement, so we'd be making needles on an earthen basement, and I remember like just soldering the needles and fucking and and just breathing all that shit in. Like just crazy stuff. But it was you just never knew where we were coming into. One day there'd be like pot plants. Oh, we had to get these out of some house, or fucking there'd be an assault there or something, some crazy shit. But it just got to be where it was, the cops would be in there every day, like, "Hey, Piotr, how's it going today?" "I'm pretty good." "Is Trev around?" "No, I don't know where he is." Like, it was pretty crazy, man. But interesting, right? And one of the craziest things too is they had a couple of Harleys that they kept in the shop, and every day, in winter. Sometimes I'd be working and just the shop. So you're fucking tattooing, and I'd be like, Harley starts up, and then I'm in the fucking shop, like, yeah, those things looped up, man. That was man.
I started my bike in the shop the other day. Nobody was tattooing though.
Like pretty fucking nuts, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
It was colorful, let's say.
Yeah. So where'd you go to from there?
Uh, I went to the mall. Infamous West Edmonton.
Piotr, we got to get you to speak up. We can't hear
I
you.
went to
You're fading
West
out.
Edmonton Mall. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you work at Dragon Effects?
Yeah, when it first opened, briefly. But
Oh, wow.
I wasn't there for very long. And when I was there, it was me and Derek again, and then a couple other dudes that were interesting. Chris Van Ruskenveld. You ever meet him? He's an Australian.
That name sounds familiar, but
Yeah, anyway, whatever. Old Edmonton tattoo guy. He lives somewhere in Australia now, but very colorful crew again. And Lorenzo. Did you ever meet him?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I've not.
Anyway, so I was there briefly, and then I bought a magazine, and Rob Thomas had an ad looking for help, like tattooers. He had I don't know which mag it was, International or something, one of those fucking rags, like.
Was that Ritual Tattoo in Kelowna?
He had a fucking ad in a magazine, so I phoned him. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be in Kelowna. And I had no plans to go to Kelowna, but I just wanted out of Edmonton. And then I needed to sober up, so I wanted to go to Kelowna to do that.
Oh,
Party City.
That's like people that leave Toronto and go to Vancouver because they want to get clean.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was determined.
Fucking dumb.
Right? So I fucking go on vacation on a road trip. Second time to BC, and I fucking pop into the shop, meet Rob, and he was like, I brought my shitty portfolio, and just before I did this trip, by the way, I met Jesse Young. He came into the shop one day and introduced himself, and he had just gotten a tattoo by Chad Good, I think. It's cool. And commented on it. Sweet. And anyway, we just met briefly and never, really hanged out. But I showed up at Rob's shop. He looked at my portfolio and he's like, okay, you can come work here. And I said, sweet. When can I start? And he's like, whenever. I'm like, okay, I need a month. He's like, great. And that's it. There was no it wasn't like getting a job. It was just like showing up. So a month later, I showed up and he's like, great. And I did a little walk-in and he heard my tattoo machine run. Yeah, all nice about it, like great. Like I did the tattoo, whatever. It was good. And then I show up the next morning and he's like, hey man, I tuned up your machines for you. And I had like a Mickey Sharps and this like a Supreme and maybe like a little lightweight. And it was so funny because I had a little Sailor Jerry pin up to the next day. And he had tuned up my machines and fucking hit the pedal. And it was like, like fucking, they're running fast and hard. Like tattoo machines should do.
Rob Thomas.
Rob tattooed really fast and hard, and he fucking put it there, and it fucking stayed. Like he really knew how to tattoo. You know what I mean? You guys,
at that time,
so many cool stories. But I fucking showed up to work that day, started tattooing this guy, and I was just sweating. I never tattooed like that. Like But I learned how to do it, you know. And that was my first real fucking tattoo shop, like a tattoo shop. But I mean, the Glenn's was a cool step, but I never actually worked there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
this was like the first
So-
real shop.
So for some context, Rob at that time he was working. He'd gone down a Starlight
Spotlight.
tattoo.
He
I
was
think.
at Spotlight
Was it?
before
Was
that.
it State?
Spotlight during the fucking riot. You
Spotlight.
know what I mean? And he tattooed at Kerry Barbas too and stuff. Like he was doing the US tour. And he had fucking cool
Yeah,
stories.
he was a heavy hitter.
Lots of cool stories from that dude. And he was like a super rad dude, right? Like and gave me a shot, which I'll be super grateful for, you know. Like
And for any of our one to four listeners that heard the part of you stepping on a pedal and then the machine going, we used to have to step on a pedal to make our machines
still
work.
do. I still step the pedal, man.
You know, like a sewing machine pedal, straight up.
So
yeah, not a little button.
Yeah.
Just no pedal.
Pedal.
And you would never move your chair. You would literally just stretch your leg over as far as you had to. Instead of dragging your pedal over to you, you just reach your foot over and step on it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. It was always under your station. That's the only reason it had a wire on it, was so you could pull it out. We had wireless technology.
Yeah.
We just chose not to use it.
I forget who it was when they came out with the wireless pedal. I was like, well, that's stupid.
Critical?
It was Critical.
Critical.
Yeah, Critical. I was like, well, that's stupid because I'll never find the pedal now.
Yeah, it's just going to be the back of my station.
It's pushed in by them off underneath your station somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When you got to Rob's, was there a really big difference between styles, like tattoo styles, like that? His shop compared to what you were working at Edmonton?
Serious. It was crazy, dude. Like, for sure. Like, we were a bunch of we didn't know much, you know what I mean? Like, I got like a little bit of hands-on learning, but it was not really like seeing his shit and doing big stuff. He was always tattooing really big things, you know. So that was the first time I ever saw like sleeves get put together and stuff. Like a dude working on a whole bag. Before that, it wasn't like that. We were doing fucking armbands and tramp stamps. I did that it was small shit. So
can you describe his style so people who might not be familiar with it can get an idea?
Like fucking biker, kind of like
so Skulls and Flames,
but like some shit, like cool Japanese shit. It was like fat.
Yeah,
hard,
I remember his Japanese stuff was badass.
You know, like solid as fuck. That's private, man. Like he put that shit in. There was never touch ups, you know, like fucking. It was in there. It was cool. It was big.
Biker style with more artistic ability.
Oh, definitely. I'm not talking like Barker's fucking 80s and shit. Like, he actually could draw, right? So he was drawing cool shit big and tattooing it fast and hard. It was awesome, man. Like, really fucking opened my eyes a lot to, you know, besides seeing shit in mags before that, it was hard to see that in person unless you were like a fucking good shop, you know? And at that time, was like the only good shop really in Kelowna, you know? There was like only a couple other shops. Nobody was allowed to open up there, so it was fucking. That was the
no,
thing. So to get started, that was the real start of my fucking work, I guess, you know. And so that was really cool. But I fucking sobriety in Kelowna, I actually fucking stayed sober there and stuff, which was fucked up. I went out once, man.
Wow.
And that was the only time I was in a bar fight. It was fucked up. Like, birthday. And everybody's like, you gotta go out this time. Because I mean, I did mushrooms and shit, like smoked weed, but, you know, I never drank. Didn't drink at all in Kelowna. And then one night, like one day was, you know, it was my birthday. That you gotta go out. Okay. Since I'm not drinking, I'm just gonna drink whiskey. Just fuck.
That makes sense.
So I'm in this bar, like there's a few friends, you know, and a really good friend of mine, Chad Baba, who was a piercer. He was out with us. Everybody was partying pretty hard except me. I was just drinking whiskey, and and then I'm fucking wasted, and I'm rolling a joint in the bar, and like man, I was like wobbling back and forth, trying to roll this fucking joint, and this dude comes up to me and he's like, "I hate weed." I'm like, what? Like, I don't like. I'm from Nelson, BC. I'm like, you're from Nelson, BC. The fuck's wrong with you? And you hate weed? He's like, yeah, and all these bouncers, they hate weed too. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you guys? And whiskey. I'm like, fuck you. Like, let me just roll this fucking joint. So I rolled this thing and it's like god awful. It's probably like terrible. Anyway, we're stepping out to smoke it. And this dude just runs up to me and just cold cocks me right in the nose, man. I don't even feel any pain. I just feel the warm blood running down my face. And then all of a sudden, my body jumps. And this is a little dude, like shorter than me and just like probably wasted and high on coke or something and just fucked. And just decides that he's gonna fucking punch me in the face. So, yeah, I feel this blood running down. I don't feel any pain. I just keep walking to outside to smoke this doobie. So we all get kicked out. This dude's like, there's a bunch of my friends. I give him a few shots, and we all get escorted out, and 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 they're fucking following us down the streets in Kelowna. And I just remember, it was brutal. So yeah, I never fucking drank in Kelowna again.
It sounds like a Kelowna Saturday
Well,
night. Pretty typical
like
here.
everybody partied there like crazy except me. I just did mushrooms and stuff and smoked weed. It was cool. So anyway, during that time there, that's when I met Jesse Young. He came to visit to do a guest spot with Rob, which was super cool. We became friends, and he'd come fairly often. And then Danny Gordy came too, and we did we did some charcoal fusion art, which was super. Remember that from
Nice.
back in?
Yeah,
Those were
totally.
cool drawings. You just relax, smoke a joint, and draw. But anyway, yeah. So me and Jesse had some really good times and became friends. But I had to leave, man. My buddy Chad, he mentioned a place and he introduced me to the Sunshine Coast and told me about it. He had some family here, so we did a little reconnaissance tour to the coast here and checked it out, and I fell in love. And then I thought I better consult with a higher power, so I had a big mushroom trip and to decide to whether I want to move here. So, and I'm sitting on the fucking banks of Okanagan Lake, and I remember it to this day because it was so crazy. And we did a pretty big dose too, so it was great. It was super stormy, and the waves were huge, and this storm front was rolling across the sky, and I'm like, this is it. This is the sign. I gotta get to the fucking ocean, man, because the tides, like, it felt like a tidal surge and like a fucking oceany kind of vibe. So I'm like, this is a sign. If there's any sign ever, I gotta fucking post. And like, which reminds me, like, when I was living in Poland, I was on the coast in Poland. So, like, I was born on the sea, and I think the pool was there. You know what I mean? I had to get to the fucking ocean. But
Yeah.
and yeah, so that's how kind of I discovered the coast, and there was no tattoo shops here or anything. So I did a little like stint in. Rob hooked me up with a job in Fat City. Remember that shop?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Who was at Fat City at the time?
Vinny Rocco.
Jeff.
No, just Vinny Rocco.
No?
Was Rick there?
Sorry? Rick.
Rick?
Oh, that's it. Rick. Yeah. Sorry, Rick. Not Jeff.
Rick Conway.
Yes, I worked with Rick. And then Vinny Rocco. He would be there off and on. And it was hilarious. Yeah. Loved it.
That that seems like a natural transition from Ritual to Fat City. It
Yeah.
seems like those shops would be
Yeah,
pretty
and
similar.
Rob was funny because he's like, when I had to tell him that I'm out of there, he was like, I always knew you weren't gonna last in Kelowna. It's not for you. I'm like, yeah, it's not for fucking me, that's for sure. But yeah, the coast was definitely cool. So I went to Fat City. I was just working there kind of part time, and because I was commuting from the coast. It was really cool, man. Rick was awesome, and and Vinny was fucking hilarious.
Vinny's got so many stories, that guy, and they all come out at once.
You know, so many cool stories, dude. Like, especially of all, like all the shenanigans back in the day, right? From the so that was really fucking cool. And yeah, I wouldn't trade that for the world too. Like, it was really neat. I had to commute quite a ways because it was from the Sunshine Coast to New West every day.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, you had to take a ferry.
I had to take a ferry and then a bus and then a sky train and then another bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
But
god!
Yeah. It's a long fucking commute.
And then
Would you do that every day, or would you do that? Would you come into town for
I
like
do it
2-3
every day.
days and then go back?
It was
Oh,
fucking
fuck.
cool.
When you're young.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, I used to fucking drive from Edmonton to Victoria to tattoo for 2 days and then drive home and then like tattoo before and after that. Like,
Yeah.
when you're young, you got stamina, you got fucking endurance, you know? Do
100%.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Fuck, nothing
Yeah.
stopped us, man. Fuck, we would drive from Edmonton to Lake Louise to ski for the day. I mean, snowboard, I guess. For the
Yeah.
So it's 5 hours. Get up super early, snowboard for the day, and then fucking drive home. You know,
Yeah.
you had to do it if you wanted the fucking pow.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's true, right? Like it's no different. You want to catch some fish, you got to get up early and get out there and throw the rod in.
You wanted the fucking goods, you had to fucking work for it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you're young, that's the time to do it, right? You get to our age, you ain't doing it. You're moving closer, or you're just like, nah.
Yeah, times have changed.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
Vancouver, what was that tattoo scene like?
It was really cool, man. Like, I never met like Dutchman crew yet at that time, but I walked around downtown a lot, so I went into the shops there and stuff. Never got tattooed, but I did the convention, the first Vancouver convention, and the second one. Got tattooed at those and tattooed at them too. It was super fun, and but
So yeah, those would have been 0405.
Yeah, I was already kind of like turning into a hermit, kind of, so it was cool.
What? So what year did you open Six Gill?
Yeah, I'd say early 2000s. But
you're a real stickler for details. Real history buff.
It doesn't really. The interesting part is the care that you meet along the way. But yeah, so when I opened the shop, it was the first tattoo on the coast, really, and I was hanging out with this diver buddy of mine, and he's like, "You should name it Six Gill after the shark that lives here. It's a very primitive shark that's like, from the era of dinosaurs or whatever." I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of cool, Sure, fuck it." So that's what I did, and it's still here, which is cool. The shop's still rocking. Good.
Yeah.
But yeah. So after the conventions in Vancouver and stuff, did a couple guest spots at John's shop, and then Jesse came to the shop and took over the shop in the late 2000s. Just worked
2008, because he took over. Essentially the month that I left.
Yeah. I'm missing a chapter there. Sorry. and hanged out, which was cool. And
Yeah, that was a fun year.
that was totally fun, man. You know, like yeah,
Yeah.
it's all fuzzy to me because I've been here so long now. So it's like, and then I think you had come to Dave around 08 something.
Oh,
Just
I'm.
like
I can't remember. I can't remember when that was, to be honest. I remember the good times we had, but I
speaking
don't
of that
remember.
story, with pops, that was hilarious. I don't
Yeah.
know if we
Okay.
did it on
So
time
I've. Sh-
because
sh-
I don't know if
what's
I
that?
should actually talk about it on here, but that was okay. Sure,
Why not?
cool. So
That was that was hard.
um, yeah, remember that day? It was fun. It was fun on the boat all day, and then we had a barbecue at my place, and we wait.
Hold on. Hold on. We probably drank about 40
Wait,
ounces of
that
booze
was Yaga
on the
Flux.
boat.
Remember? That was
That's right.
and
We
yeah, and
drank
then
a
we had,
lot, and
so we sobered up.
we were lit. We were well lit before we left your house to go to
Yeah,
some
so
barbecue.
yes, and we got pulled over. And remember, it was still half
Oh,
ton with a single cab, and it was my
yeah.
dog, you, and you were holding a new jug of Yaga Flux with no lid. It was
And this cop is like, "Have you had anything to
and
drink
I'm like,
today?"
no.
And Piot's like, "Nope." And the cop's like, "Are you sure you haven't had anything to drink today?" And he's like, "Nope, nothing, officer." And the cop's like, I'm going to give you a breathalyzer test. And you'd be better off telling me now that you had something to drink than after you've blown over. And Piot's totally like, "I haven't had anything to drink. I don't know. Test me. Go ahead." So Piot gets taken to the fucking cop car to blow into a box. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out, oh my God, like, I guess we're going to have to call somebody. I don't even think there's cell service out here. Someone's going to have to come pick us up and get the truck. And I'm like, we're already late for this party. And then next thing you know, Piot's getting back in the truck. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like,
And he
we're good to
said,
go.
"You can have a couple more drinks at this party and still drive home." It's totally different.
All I could think of was that he blew the cop, not the box.
No, no, no,
There's no
no.
way we
Because
got out of that scot free.
I've never actually had a breathalyzer. Well, actually, I had one, but anyway, I was, of course, I was fine. But you know, at first, I'm fucked. I'm shitting my pants. Not that I felt like I couldn't, because it was
It was a different time.
whatever. Anyway, it was a small town. You might have to edit this out, but
Nope.
anyway, so I tried.
I'm sure the statute of limitations are up.
The side, and the cop's like, "That's not how you fucking do it, man. You open this thing properly." And so I took the biggest breath and I just blew into it. And he's like, "You're fucking good to go, man. Where you guys go?" I'm like, "We're just going up the street here to this party." And he's like, "Well, you can have a couple more drinks and then drive home, but just be safe." Whoa. But
Whoa is right. I was lit. I wasn't even good to be a passenger in that.
I was totally sober, my friend. Totally
stone cold.
sober.
Oh man. It was like our old buddy Ben that lived in Gibson's, and just the guy always had like a 12-pack on his seat and just crushing them and throwing them in his bed. Like, it was just, yeah. It was a
here, man.
Small town.
It was a
small town living.
Like, fuck, these people.
3 cars on the straight highway.
Nobody was on the road. It was dead.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. The most distracting thing you would see while driving is that woman that used to walk her llamas.
Oh God.
It's like, did I just fucking see a woman walking a llama? It's like, yep. Okay.
No town is too small for a tattoo shop. This is
Yeah.
It was a small backwoods town, and I definitely do not condone that behavior. But it was a different time, you know.
Yeah.
It was.
So it
Uh,
was pretty crazy. And then
Yeah.
fucking yeah, that was some wild times. But yeah.
Yeah. I loved it, man. Getting out, going lingcod fishing
Oh man, the
and
lingcod.
crabbing. My first week working with you, it's like, let's go camping. It's like, okay, when are we gonna work? It's like, and we would just camp and then take the boat in and smell like campfire in the shop, and then just go back to the boat launch, go back to the campsite where our ladies were, and they'd be drunk out on fucking floaties trying to pull the crab traps up on floaties. It's like, you're all looking to die. Fucking otters are like swimming around them because they got fucking, the crab traps and shit. It's like, you guys are gonna get your shit popped
man, it
and
was
sink
wild
in the goddamn
days,
inlet.
dude. Fuck, it was so cool. And then
Yeah.
there's were you here when the Spaniards came? That
No.
okay. That must
different.
later.
Sorry.
But
No, when the conquerors came, I was not around.
Yeah, totally. And I think that was on the other coast, further south.
the conquerors came, man. Yeah, because when Jesse got the shop or whatever, he had some. Well, I was friends with Severino Estevez, and
Oh yeah.
and got tattooed by him during Calgary convention, I think. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, they went and painted that big mural on the building, right?
Yeah, that was on. Yeah, they did. That was much later, though. I think that was.
Oh, okay.
Shit, I don't know. I'm bad with dates. But yeah,
like most
came
tattooers.
There was a few visits because there's this dude Carlos that came from. He's in Germany, but he came for a visit, and him and Seve, we were just like, there's a beach down the street from my house, and it's still there, and the fucking phosphorescent would get trapped there, right? And fucking, they had never seen that shit before in their lives. And for us, it was already like, whatever, the phosphorescence is around. Who cares? It's cool. But these guys, they're like kind of sitting on the rocks, and the water's kind of cold, because it warms up, but it's relatively cool compared to Spain. And I jump in, man, and it's so fucking bright, you're just glowing green, right? And it's all over your skin, and it reacts to pressure. So when you're walking, it just blows up. And they were just peeling off their clothes as fast as they could. They're like, holy shit, and jumped in, and it was just insane. We might have done a little bit of mushrooms or something too.
Might have. How many times we played categories on Mushroom Tea?
Oh, a few. And Cranium. Didn't we play Cranium?
And Cranium, yeah. Oh, yeah. What are you doing tonight? Want to drink mushrooms and play games? Yep.
Yeah. We didn't work. We just had fun.
Yes.
It fuels the creative process.
Yeah. And then once in a while, the poker nights at the tattoo shop.
Yeah. That was good time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Fuck, poker,
fun.
man.
Super fun.
Yeah, I forget about that. I haven't played. I played a little bit now with my son, but yeah, that kind of died down after Jesse took over. There was no more poker nights. Nobody played really. It's weird.
Yeah.
Poker got huge and then it just kind of ebbed. And maybe now it's getting busy again. I don't know.
I think it's pretty awesome. You've got such a high level of talent in that attracted to the Sunshine Coast. Like a lot of people are worried about living in a small town and whether they can create like a demand or create great art. And you guys fucking
it was
killed
super
it out
sweet,
there.
and people were into it, man. Like, the community here is amazing. Like, and People still even go to the city and get tattooed. But like, you know, Donovan owns the shop now. He's from fucking Langley, right? And he's killing it and stuff. And now there's another artist from Victoria that moved here, Tammy, and Ali, who's from like the East Coast, way back.
Okay.
So they're all fucking working at Six Gill, and I've got my own little shop in Roberts Creek. That's just one of us.
Nice.
But yeah, there was definitely some fun party times in between all of this shit. That's for sure. Yeah.
All right. Top 5 tattooers, Piotr.
Oh fuck, man.
I love how the response is always the same. Like everyone thinks that the question's not coming, but they all know.
No, you know, I don't even know if I can say. Like, I look on Instagram, you know, and I see all this new shit coming up, and some of it's really fucking cool. And there's just too many, you know. Like, I don't know.
Of course, your audio is cutting out.
It's, man, my brain is fried from like the overload from Instagram. Like, I actually hate Instagram. It fucking drives me crazy, man. It's like you just I can't be I don't want to be on it, man. To be honest.
Quit stalling.
Next.
The podcast doesn't end until you give 5, so we'll just be here all day.
God, seriously. I'm gonna pick a few of my friends then. Jesse for sure. Seven. Yeah.
Jesse
Severino,
Young,
man. Rostro. Besides being a stand-up dude, he came for a visit here, and we went to Jesse's wedding, which was a fucking hoot. And Rich Hanford was here too, and that was a fucking party, man. Rostro's a fucking cool dude, very talented. He's always inspiring. And I mean, like, fucking all the old classics. John, of course, fucking, I mean, he's still fucking working. It's cool to see.
absolutely.
Fucking, you know, I don't know. The list is
That's 4.
fuck.
That's 4.
I like to say, the last one. You know, that John, fuck, he's, I can't.
That's not an answer. John, I don't know.
I'm bad with names, man, and like all Instagram tags, but like, I mean, there's just too many. Let's say Philip Lou, because he's fucking.
Okay, there you go.
But the list is huge. Like,
I think Philip's
it's kind
probably
of a shitty question you gotta ask.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's too many fucking rad people.
I know, but that's the.
And I know, like, if I really
I
thought
know.
about it or had time to think about it, the list would probably be fucking, you know, like bigger. But whatever. I mean, look at like,
Yeah, the idea is it's an exercise in
he
distilling
should
it
be
down.
included. You know, like, look at all the fucking dudes that are cool, man. That are doing crazy shit. Rob Noseworthy, man. Fuck, that dude's amazing. Yeah, he's definitely in that list. But
You already had 5.
You already
Who are
have
you
5.
taking out of your
it's 'cause
top
you
5 to
me
put
on
him
the
in?
spot, man. I hate being on the spot. In fact, I'm bad at it. I fucking hate
Well, I'm glad that you agreed to do this one, Piotr. It was super great to see your face and your smile and your laugh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, it was
nice
awesome.
to talk to you guys. It's been a while. I'm like super urban
Yeah.
now, so I live like fucking, you know, on the down low.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
No
that, man.
worries.
You got everything you need surrounding
Oh,
you,
yeah.
so why?
Life is good
Right?
and chill.
Awesome.
Are you doing any
I'm
conventions
not
this year?
doing a convention ever again.
Okay.
I might
Was
go
Kelowna
visit
your
some.
last one?
I miss going to Saskatoon, to be honest, but I'm definitely not gonna.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna work a convention, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's
You gonna come out to the Okanagan one in July
No,
for a
no,
visit?
I have
No.
other plans, unfortunately. So I'm not doing any this year. I don't think I might pop in on to the Vancouver one for.
Okay.
But we'll see. Are you going to
Let
be
me know.
there?
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll just be
Yeah,
walking
I'm
around. We
walking
can get a
around
drink.
too. I'm not fucking doing shit. That's who knows. It's up in the air. I have a lot of shit on my plate right now, so uh, mostly I'm gonna try to take up as much time and just hang out with my kids at the cabin because they're out of school soon. You know,
Yeah.
who the fuck
Nice.
wants to do shit in the summer when you can be beach fish shit like that?
Awesome.
Awesome, Piotr. Thanks so much,
Yeah,
buddy.
thanks. All right,
It's
have a
great
good
seeing
day.
you.
Yeah, man.
Fast Social Club. I want to do a quick run through of some new features we have on the platform. So if you created a profile, you can access the entire website. It's free. Join up now. Holdfastsocialclub.com. The first thing you can do if you're in studio, you can search for artists. So maybe you come on here looking for a bunch of artists. Oh my God, there's so many. Who can we look at? We'll go to see one of my friends here. Shawn Hedley. He's great. So the new features on the page. First thing you'll see is a portfolio, which you can obviously click on and get a closer look at people's work. You can connect with this artist, so if you want to direct message them because you like them, you can. That goes directly to their email via the site. A little heart up here. You can click on and off this, and this goes to your favorites list. So you can save a bunch of favorites in one place so you don't have to find them again. Reputation, this is the big thing here. You can vouch for each other. So here you'll see that Lady Luck Tattoo has vouched for Shawn's reputation. Says he's a really good guy, tells you what he's like. And what this allows for is establishing a reputation on the site, and you can see who their associates are. So you can vouch for anybody as a member. Just remember that your name is tied to them. So only vouch for people that you think are good people. It could come back and bite you. So as you scroll down a little further, you'll see a lot more details that'll be helpful if you're looking to hire somebody. You want to know what their expectations are and what they bring to the table. You'll find their apprenticeship details, the experience they wish to have, current studio they work at, the art styles they work in, musical taste, and what they bring, the years of experience, hourly and percentage expectations, local accreditations, and equipment they might require for a guest spot or a full-time gig. So that makes things really easy. Now, artists, when you're looking for a studio, you can do that geographically, which is fantastic. You can be like, I want to work in California or Nova Scotia or Vancouver and search that way. There's also lots of filters that allow you to filter through the different studios. And there's a long list of studios on here. Let's find one that I know has a review on it because that's always more interesting. Here we go. Morningstar. This is Adam Sky's tattoo studio down in San Francisco. It's got pictures of the studio. He's done a really good job of presenting what his studio looks like. You'll find that he's got a website and Instagram account you can click on. Again, connect directly to the studio via the site. There'll be a little bio, tells you a little bit about what it's like. Reputation. So this is the same as on the artist site. You can vouch for somebody by leaving a review on their site. Your name is always attached to it, so everybody knows who you're vouching for and who vouched for this person. Down below, you will find the section that has everything that you want to know about a studio, what their expectations are, what they offer, maybe who works in the studio, what they're looking for, full-time or guest artist or part-time, musical taste, clientele description, affluent, middle class. That sounds like a nice thing. Typical clientele, custom, and destination. Also, the local area. It's really important that you advertise the local area your shop's in to give potential artists and matches an idea of what they'd be walking into. And then this is great. This is what they'll provide. You'll have a workload expectation, shop amenities, payment structure, shop rate. This is great. You included a picture of your workstation and also what you'll find there. Accommodations, this is a section that Adam doesn't have filled out, but if you had accommodations to offer a guest artist or an Airbnb close by or hotels, you could include that as well. Again, you can click on favorites and your favorites will end up here in the My Favorites list. It's really great. The other things that you'll find on the site are the Tattoo Podcast, which is the So You're Kind of a Big Deal Tattoo Podcast, hosted by Shawn, Hedley, and myself. It has links directly to Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. It's great. Check it out. The newest thing that we've also added is the True North Strong tattoo book put out by Shawn Hedley and Dan Elkin. Sadly, it never made it to print, so we're offering it free here on the site. It's 350 pages of content of tattooing. It's incredible. Interviews, paintings, flash, tattoos. You got to check it out. It's an 11 by 17 format. It's massive. You can download that for free at Holdfast Social Club or Champion Tattoo. That's about it. So please check it out. The newest features allow you to vouch for each other, direct connect, and have favorites. And we have new features coming as soon as next month. So sign up. It's free. Tell your friends.